Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. Upper left hand corner we got Bonyth starting as the brown Protoss, bottom right hand corner we got Dewalt starting as the pink Protoss. The series in the 7th set of the lower bracket final. So we got the first to 4 takes the set. If Bonyth does it, he's the champion. If Dewalt does it, we go to another 7 best of 7. Is currently tied up 2-2. Nail biting happening all the way around. I do want to comment, despite, and I was just talking to Twitch chat about this, despite everything, it feels like every single game has been fresh. It does not feel like, I know there's been a lot of PvP, that's just kind of the nature of this. A bit of insanity to be casting this in the first place obviously isn't like something that's like, oh yeah, I'm going to get a lot of viewers casting 50 some odd. I mean, potentially. So 49, anyway. Casting an immense amount of PvP instead of just like casting Flash and like Jangbi returns something video. You know it would be crazy? Jangbi hasn't returned. It would be crazy if Jangbi actually did return between me saying this and the actual cast. But point being, what I have appreciated with every single game between these guys is despite the sheer volume, every game has felt fresh and different, which I think is also a testament to StarCraft Brood War itself, that when you can, there's just so much variation in the game. It's a good game. You guys should check it out. That's why you're here, right? Looks like we're going to see a cross map scout for Bonyth. He is setting up for a double gate. It looks like he's going to go ahead, and I think that was 10-12. So once he should be able to sneak in and get the faster scout. Dewalt might be setting up for 1 gate into Nexus. Unfortunately, I think I think he wanted to go 1 gate into Nexus. And so Bonyth is going to wander in, see that lack of gas. Is he going to go for gas steal? No, did not go for gas steal. Dewalt saw that probe come in, drop that gas last second. So I think he was hopeful, but lucky for Bonyth, he managed to get, I think the response to the one Nexus, the off-base Nexus last game is like, okay, I'll try to go 1 gate into Nexus and see if I can pull it off. Unfortunately, got scouted first. Dewalt now, after top right, going to go bottom left. And unfortunately, he's not going to see the 2 gate making its way across. And interestingly enough, Bonyth actually, recognizing that it's just a 1 gate and that it's a later gas, is going to go ahead and dedicate. It looks like that. Well, is he debating? He hasn't queued up the additional zealots yet. Looks like he's might get distracted right this second. Probes, he's managed to interrupt a bit of gas right there. But instead, it looks like he's going to go 2 gate into Nexus himself. Wow. That's, that is not the response I expected to this, but I like it actually, because Dewalt very much in the dark. So we got a zealot here to the front. This is going to be fully scouted from Dewalt, but also recognizing, okay, no scout in the base. And Dewalt opposite side is going to think, oh, you went 1 gate into Nexus, you jerk, in the space of this. In reality, 2 gate in the space of this. Is he going to get, Bonyth though, dropping it a little bit. Dropping the ball slightly, and as a result, going to get scouted, and Dewalt's going to wander up and see the gas. Now does he pull the trigger, if he can get rid of this probe, and skip range, and just go straight to DT? Thinking Bonyth isn't going to he'll either have to go Forge, which actually Bonyth is already going Forge in the space of this, so... And I think Dewalt recognizing that as well. Oh gosh. All the way around. Was that Dragoon canceled? Never mind, the Dragoon's wandering straight to the natural of Bonyth, recognizing how late the Dragoons are. He thinks he can, I guess that was the other reason behind the Forge. So there the Cybernetics core drop, but recognizing he was going to have to get down some cannons to be able to defend this Nexus. So there's the first cannon. Is that cannon even going to be up in time though? The Zealot needs to stop, and Dewalt brought the Zealot up too. And a Manor Pylon. Holy cow, this turned into an interesting match. Okay, so the Zealot going for what damage it can is going to go ahead and get a little bit of interruption on gas. The Dragoon already here attacking that photon cannon. I don't know that photon cannon is going to finish. And so now you have Dragoons that are rallied towards that natural expansion. Looks like that Zealot and Probe were taken care of, but that was a lot of mining disruption from Dewalt. Probe's pulling off the line to try to deal with this, but Dewalt has shut down this natural expansion in the meantime. He's got a unit advantage on the low ground. 1 Zealot versus 2, particularly at reinforcements, even at cross position, the Dragoon and the Zealot should win, theoretically. Depends on a bit of micro, yeah, and once you get it there, another cannon trying to get dropped, gonna try to buy time, but Dewalt might have bought himself a win as far as some turnaround tactics. He's got his natural expansion by the way, building here in the background. Looks like he, I don't know if there's a pylon cancellation or what, but he was in the red for, oh, it was because of the Manor pylon potentially dropping. I think this cannon is going to finish, but in the meantime, he's 3 workers up. He's got his natural expansion up earlier, and it's working out overall for him, and he's got more Dragoons. Looks like he is going to get that 3rd Dragoon up towards the front. Once you start getting around the 4 or 5 Dragoon marker, the 5 Dragoons, it can be really scary. They can start picking off cannons pretty rapidly, so it's going to be looking to pick a fight on that corner. Range is not yet finished, by the way, for Dewalt, and that'll make a significant difference. So Dewalt going to have to hold, but he does have pseudo soft contain with this rally going on. Does he have his 2nd gateway up yet? No. 2nd gateway working on his way. He does have a shuttle building, though, and he's got his robotics in place. So has definitely applied pressure to Bonyth, and now Bonyth very much in the dark. He's queuing up his range. His range is going to come up a lot later. And a secondary, he's dropped the 2nd gas. The secondary, he wants to try to get some additional gas out, I presume, to go ahead and catch up in tech. And he's got his natural expansion up as well, but wants to try to catch up in the overall Dragoon count. Being down Dragoons at any position can be bad. And Dewalt with the game sense, knowing, okay, you got 4 Dragoons out right the second. I'm just going to draw back with my units and sit with my 3 worker lead and my faster Reavers. Crazy. These guys really, and going shuttle speed on top of it, they're amazing to me. No 2nd gas though yet from Dewalt. He's just dropping that 2nd gas now. Bonyth also could do something tricky here if he wanted to go faster. Plus, yeah, there's the plus. Beat me to it. If he goes +1 Citadel of Adun into 4 or 5 gate, 5 gate actually could be pretty interesting in the space of this, because depending on, well, the issue is what Dewalt does as far as a turnaround. Dewalt, is he going to go for a quick 3rd Nexus? No, it looks he's just going to place the defensive pylon at that 3 o'clock. The problem with doing that is the Reavers out in the field just absolutely smash Zealots. Bonyth going to go ahead and drop the pylon there at the 9 o'clock location to try to spot all these sorts of these pylons out in the field, to try to spot incoming shuttles. And actually might be able, he looks like he is going to catch that shuttle in open field with that probe. A probe actually coming out on the map for Dewalt. I don't think that is that a mistake? I don't know if that's a mistake or not. Dragoons have filed out. They're making the way to the 6 o'clock location. They're looking for, he noticed that the shuttle trajectory in fact changed. It's going to sit in no man's land and wait for speed to finish. Supply count significantly up, well, partially up here in Dewalt's favor. 2 additional gateways have dropped. Robotic support bay up. We do have the robotics facility building a shuttle as well. Manor or I don't want to call, this isn't exactly a manor pylon. It's a defensive pylon to stop that. Offensive pylon, that's the word I want to look for. Offensive pylon to blockade the 6 o'clock base. Could go up to the 3 o'clock location and hit that. Shuttle making a speed maneuver now. We do have Dragoons all over the place though. Oh, he gets the drop. Sacrificing the Reaver to get this shot off. Is it going to be worth it? Looks like no. Got 3, I don't think that was worth it. 3 workers for that Reaver. And a probe attacking that 9 o'clock. And Bonyth has to feel good about that. Dewalt still has the supply lead though. Yeah, defensive pylon there, 3 o'clock, and probe going to try to wind its way around. I don't think that was worth the shuttle and the Reaver overall. And it looks like, ignore what I said. Oh, okay, never mind. So we do have +1 weapons. Now we got that Citadel of Dune making its way out onto the field for Bonyth. So, and again, that +1 weapons, pylon getting it wiped out here at the 3 o'clock. It's not going to hurt Bonyth's supply line here, though. Again, that +1 weapons with Zealot leg speed can be particularly effective, especially against smaller Reaver counts that are out of position where they can't really peel the Zealots off on the front. So it could be interesting. We do have a 5 gate on the opposite side from Dewalt. He's actually getting upgraded Scarab damage. He's dropping Citadel of Dune of his own. His +1 weapons, if he's going to upgrade it, is going to come out much, much later though, in compared to Bonyth. I do believe that Scarab damage could make all the difference. I actually need to go back and it's like things I need to learn overall. Pylon also at the 12 o'clock Dewalt using his probes to scout rather than the observer that he's got hanging back here. I wonder if he lost track of it or he just wants to keep there just in case there was counter harass. That probe going to get picked off as that army moves out of position. Yeah, I'm kind of curious why these observers are being left at home base. Is he concerned about home base Dark Templar? Photon cannon warping in. Yeah, looks like he was a little bit concerned about drops or Dark Templar drops himself. Interesting. But he does have that shuttle speed advantage. He does have the Reavers out. He's got it. The armies are actually even. Still a slight worker lead overall. Could go either direction right this second. We have a lot of Dragoons out. We got 2 additional gateways being built. That's going to bring the total count up to 6, and it looks like that's already been out for Dewalt. Dewalt going up to 7 and 8 on the 2 bases, and going ahead, now moving that observer out to the 12 o'clock. Bonyth is basically, okay, he's got an observer, but I don't see a lot of other observers out for him. He's kind of gotten skimpy on the observers. Used pylons and used probes instead. I don't know if Bonyth, I don't know that Dewalt's going to pick up on that to be able to utilize Dark Templar. Right now, Dewalt trying to grab the 6 o'clock base, and he's a bit split as far as his army goes to defend. He does have the Reavers again with that Scarab damage on the low ground, but he's behind on that +1 weapons, and Zealot Lake Speed just about to finish for Bonyth. And he's got the Reavers at close position and might have the element of surprise. Never mind. Looks like Dewalt sees that on the edge and is willing to exchange shots along that corner. A few units peeling off, making their way. And okay, this observer certainly has discovered that. There's fewer count. The shuttle mirroring the movements. We have a blockade where the Reaver shots can peel through. Yeah, that's kind of the danger of being here is the Reaver shots can go ahead and go through, and you can see those Zealots absolutely melt. So Bonyth trying to reposition out to the north, but High Templar have now taken the field. Did the High Templar have Psystorm? I missed if that upgrade. No, I do not believe they do, so they're going to go ahead and morph to Archon. Bonyth, however, noticing troops are out of position and that those Reavers out of position, making his way in. Trying to drop the Reavers to the low ground, has taken some free shots, and I think this is going to be a winning engagement here for Bonyth. So the 2 Reavers still to the south, though, and that could be the absolute X factor with their... Yeah, and it looks like actually the splash damage from the south, enough to overcome the distance, and the Archon pushing the rest back. Bonyth losing a lot of supply and critically actually losing his Reavers on the front. This is allowing Dewalt to go ahead and get that 6 o'clock base up. Much more, well, is that, okay, it's up. So it's not much more rapidly. He at least hasn't been able to transfer the workers this direction. But with that fight, it's actually something pretty incredible. It looks like the Observer is also going to be able to track the workers making their way to the 12 o'clock and hold there. Dewalt does really when I think of Dewalt's PvP, in comparison to other players' PvP, he does like playing the defensive absorb game, and it absorbs engagements a lot better than I've seen other guys do out in the field, and oftentimes he will just flat out win games that direction. Counterwise, Bonyth, is that even a word? On the opposite end, I feel like Bonyth is one of those guys when he's picking fights on the front and just scooping up his Reavers, he just seems to find that edge in the engage. It's kind of like honestly, it's kind of been overused in commentary spaces where it's like the sharpest spear versus the densest shield sort of. But anyway, Dewalt engaging right here, Psystorm dropping bolt directions more critically along that Reaver and Shuttle, which are now backing up. Again, I don't know that Psystorm was upgraded on the opposite side from Dewalt. He's eaten a good amount of damage in the space of this. Gonna back up entirely. He's got a 3rd Reaver that actually walked up. It's gonna get stranded out here and potentially could be Psystorm bait. Archon morphing behind this. +2 weapons, by the way, making its way. So +1 weapons versus +1 weapons right this second, but it's still going to be an upgrade lead. Bonyth trying to cut the difference and allow the Reavers to get the shots. Oh, the Doodad really hurting him right this second, though. And also targeted, rather than the bunch targeted that Zealot to the south, was trying to draw Bonyth out this direction so he could get the cutoff lane and allow that Reaver Scarab upgrade damage to do something. He's still eating a lot of Psystorms. I think he recognizes his larger supply is forcing the fight. I don't think there's any Psystorm left with these High Templar. 1 Psystorm lands on the Reavers, but it's not enough, and the slow Reaver also crawling its way up. These Reavers are completely exposed. They have no shuttle to protect them. They're going to die very, very rapidly in the midst of all this. The Archon's right on top of them, and is that going to be game? That might be game. Zealot's now with Zealot leg speed running all the way across, and I don't think Bonyth has enough to defend. So even if he defends this natural expansion, Dewalt can repivot and make his way to the 12 o'clock. Shuttle trying to scoop its way back. Zealots being produced in mass, but they're going to get kind of plugged up in this back corner, and these Reavers slow walking in will quickly be able to wipe them out. Yeah, that's going to be GG from Bonyth. So Dewalt, through some nice troop positioning, also kind of baiting out the Psystorm continually for Bonyth and negating that advantage. Utilizing his, first of all, the Scarab damage upgrade, but also the supply lead and able to close it out. So now, It is 3-2 in Dewalt's favor. If he wins one more, he has bought himself more life in this tournament, at which point we could be casting and by we I mean me, could be casting a whole lot more StarCraft. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.